Hi everyone, welcome to week 7 of CAT125R. This week we will begin discussing intellectual property. As you are very well aware, this week you have been working on presenting your expertise speeches in section. Congratulations! Presenting to an audience online or in person is always a huge accomplishment, so you should all be very proud of yourselves for completing this assignment. This week also marks a turn in the course as we begin working on the final project for the quarter, which is a collaborative project in which you conduct research and compile that research in a Storify platform with a group of your peers in your section. We'll start the video lectures this week with Professor Losh, who will be giving you a general overview of the history and theory of intellectual property in the US to give you some background you can use as you begin work on this project. We'll be thinking about the cons of certain kinds of collaborative activities. For example, we know that appropriating intellectual property in plagiaristic activities, taking sources without proper citation, is problematic. On this slide, we have an example of a report from Turnitin.com that shows a student who prepared a paper with patch writing, or cutting and pasting from various sources without commentary or proper citation. We also want to think in this unit about the potential benefits of collective authorship. I like this quotation from Isaac Newton. What he's saying is that his own science benefited from the science of others that came before him. It's not just about his individual intellectual property, but his ability to use and build on the intellectual property of others. One of the things we'll be talking about as well in this unit is the ethics of citation. Your final assignment in the course, as I mentioned earlier, asks you to work together in groups to develop a researched response to a smaller research question under the big umbrella of what is intellectual property in the age of the internet. You'll be using a platform called Storify to create this collaborative curation. One thing that's really advantageous about Storify is that it's really easy for you to indicate the original sources from which you're drawing. Storify is designed to be effective in working closely with traditional social media platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, blogs, Facebook. You can pull from a variety of types of sources, though we do recommend that you also incorporate some traditional scholarly sources into your work as well. You can show with Storify how the scholarly conversation is adapted through social media or is being discussed or translated for different audiences in social media, and how those different platforms, traditional scholarly publishing and social media publishing, may be intermingled. You'll also be thinking about curation for this project. It's asking you to do more than just gather sources. It's asking you to curate them. And part of what that means is selecting sources carefully, filtering them through your well-developed research topic and research question. Another part of what that means is producing explanatory text for each of your sources that analyzes the sources and contextualizes them for your audience and demonstrates the relevance to your research question, as well as the way different sources relate to one another. The preparatory work you're doing for this assignment in the Piazza Post and in your section meetings is going to help you focus your research and identify a specific topic and question that you'll be working on. As with the expertise speech, you'll find that focusing in on a particular case study or a particular series of examples will actually give you more compelling material to share with your audience than an overly broad topic. What you're asked to do for your Piazza post this week is write a series of 3 elevator pitches. These are 3 pitches that you can share with the members of your group in section to try to identify a common topic that you plan to work on for the project. So what you're really doing here is just trying to convince your group of the topic that you want to work on. We're asking you to come up with 3 so that you can generate a lot of material as a group and narrow the material down to find something that's interesting to all of you and relevant to all of you. As you're thinking about your elevator pitches, you can think about some of these features of successful collaborative curation projects. So you want to make sure that your topic is at the intersection of intellectual property and the internet. So sometimes students will get so caught up in the questions about intellectual property that they'll forget that they need to still put that within the context of the internet. The best projects for this assignment have a really well-defined audience, right? So you want to think about who exactly do you imagine reading, using, and needing your project? They have a clear purpose, so there's a real sense of not only who the audience is, but what exactly do you want the audience to be able to do or think or feel after they have encountered your project? And they respond to a specific research question. So you'll work on honing that research question once you're in your groups and once you've settled on a topic. But in general, the best research questions for a project like this one tend to answer how, why, or should questions as opposed to what questions. So as an example, as opposed to asking what are the copyright laws related to digital music in the US, a stronger research question for a project like this one would be, how can an aspiring DJ sample music and distribute it online without violating US copyright law? So that question is more analytical, and its answer will be something more complex than what a simple Google search would reveal. So I'll leave the video here so you can get started thinking about your elevator pitches. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you all on Piazza. Have a great week.